Welcome to today's video. We're going to install a DHM cam in my Grom, along with their custom flashed ECU for my bike, my cam, and my exhaust. And stick around to the end of the video. I will go over some top speed stuff as well as what it feels like and what this thing's capable of with the additional torque running around town. I'm also going to touch base on how important it is to tune your exhaust to get the best results out of this cam install, so stick around. The gentleman in the front door with the rubber gloves was surprisingly gentle. We need access to these two ports. We'll get these guys out of the way. This is going to reveal the top dead center. Also, a side note, you don't have to drain your oil to do this job, so that's nice. And we're going to need to get a hold of that for various reasons later. We have three covers to remove. We have that side timing chain cover to remove, as well as the top intake and bottom exhaust valve covers. There's an intake and an exhaust side on these two caps, so take note of that. Intake's on top, exhaust on the bottom. I'm gonna break these valve adjustment screws here. There's a set bolt. You gotta break loose, and we're gonna back those valves up all the way. They're loose, so that's good. Let's get this thing lined up. Get your socket on the back end there, and you're going to rotate the engine until you line up that mark on top of that hole to that T. And then on the camshaft gear, you're going to see a circle and this little node sticking out to line up. Go ahead and put a small mark on that chain right next to the circle on the sprocket. That's going to help during reinstall. While holding that crankshaft in the back, you're going to break loose the cam gear sprocket bolt, and that is lefty-loosey. And now I have a sweet ass Chinese star you could throw at your friends. Next, we can go ahead and remove the cam retainer bolt. Lefty-loosey on that one as well. I tugged on my cam gear with my bare hands, just like when I went home by myself on prom night, but I didn't have any luck on either of those occasions. So I resorted to some needle nose pliers after I stuck the bolt back into the cam and pried it out using a rag to pad the side of the engine. If you have the same trouble I do, try that and see if you have any luck with it. Just remember and make sure that your valves are loosened all the way. Here's the two cams side by side. The top cam is the stock cam and the bottom one is from DHM. So you can get 11, 12 horsepower out of your Honda Grom and rip your arms out of the socket. And if one of you Gromologists know what that extra lobe is on that stock cam on top there, go ahead and leave a comment below so we can all be enlightened. Side note, don't forget to oil the surfaces of your cam to have a little lubrication for the first startup. I had a little trouble getting my cam back in. I couldn't get it to seat properly, at least not easily. I had to fight it a little bit. Nothing to do with the DHM cam. It was perfect. I think I had a bit of oil on those bearing surfaces, which is not necessary for the bearing part. On the cams it is. This is about the time when you start worrying about putting your engine together wrong and destroying everything. Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Just take your time, and if you have any questions, just pause and go over these instructions again, but don't force anything. Kick back, relax, visualize how much fun you're gonna have destroying all the Toyota Corollas out there off the line. This kind of rotation on the OEM, the original one, before I pulled it, and now I have this rotation in, so make sure that's pointing in the right direction. To the front of the top of the engine, and looks like that kind of clearance, give or take. That feels much better. I go 88 inch-pounds. This third generation Grom has a little bit different of a tensioner setup. So I was watching East Coast-ish, and he found this trick to help him get his sprockets on and off. So this is what the front looks like. Two marks lined up, and then right in here you can see we have top dead center. This guy's supposed to be at 20 foot-pounds. Be sure and set your engine to top dead center when adjusting your valves at 0.005 inches with the S1 DHM cam. To make a special tool for this, you can get by with socket and needle nose pliers and fingers. This guy here is what you adjust for the different spacing of your valves. And this nut right here, it just locks it in place, so you just have to break that nut loose And then from there, I just used my fingers to adjust that spacing using that feeler gauge to get that 0.005 inch space. After that, lock that nut back down and then go back and double check and make sure the spacing is still accurate. This is supposed to be at 6.6 foot-pounds, which is 79 foot-inches. And it's a 6mm. Do me a favor and double check any specs that I declare here in this video, and if you find any errors in that, put a comment below so people can check it out. Go back and double check and make sure that you're still on top dead center. Double and triple check your clearances for your valves. And from here, we're going to pop all the caps back on and get ready for the ECU. This video is not sponsored by DHM. However, it is sponsored by evokestudio.io. For all your video and photography needs, definitely reach out to evokestudio.io. We do everything from weddings to broadcast television and everything in between. That's evokestudio.io. Stop by the website, check out our work, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks. I also like turning it by hand just to make sure I don't feel anything out of the ordinary. And sometimes I'll also pull the spark plug wire off and turn it over when it's time to use the electric starter as well. 3 caps here, 1, 2, and 3. So those 6 bolts I put in at 7 foot-pounds of torque. And the back cap covers back here I put in at hand tightening. Not very tight at all, so aluminium. Now it's time to install my custom flashed ECU from DHM. I'm also working on another video giving you my recommendations of how and when you should upgrade and exactly which order you should do it in for the best results. We'll pull the spark plug first and see if it turns over. Seems to turn over okay. Let's see if it starts. I'm just kidding, it didn't blow up. Everything went perfectly. What you fear versus what actually happens. While editing this video, I've been driving all over town and I have amazing results. Definitely didn't blow up, and the torque and horsepower after my exhaust tune is incredible. I'm currently working on a couple of videos in regards to tuning your exhaust. You have to tune your exhaust to get the most out of this upgrade. So be sure and sub and keep an eye out for those videos up and coming. Alright, I'll put 10 or 15 miles into it. See you guys in a minute. DHM instructions says to go ahead and ride at 10 or 15 miles for the bike to continue to tune for optimization. I found that even at 30 miles, it was still tuning and doing its thing. So give it a minute, be patient. I know it sucks riding around completely untuned. This video is not sponsored by DHM. However, it is sponsored by evokestudio.io. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. My name is Mike. Thanks for hanging out here with me at the channel. We'll see you back real soon.